had submissions from the Attorney General Office and also the Kenya law reforms. And we have those submissions with us. And we are waiting for the opinion and also proposals from the Ministry, State Department of Water and Sanitation, and also the State Department of Water and Irrigation on the issue of Mary Maingi. But for now, we want to welcome the Honorable Dr. Manduku to take us and give us an overview of your proposal, what you are seeking to amend, and what are the merits, the demerits of this proposal. And then thereafter, I will open the floor for members so that we can have a discussion on this. And also, at one point also, I'll give our legal clerk here, Lynette, also to take us through what we got from the Attorney General Office and also from the Kenya law reforms. So, the Honorable Manduku, welcome, and you have now the mic to take us through your proposal.
And they came into effect in February 2022. Subsequent to that, Mr. Chair, there was a petition to the Senate on the provisions in the regulations. The bottom line, Mr. Chair, is that upon enactment of these legislations, these regulations, water became a very expensive commodity. Why do I say that? There are two levies or two types of fees that are charged in the water sector. The first is what we call the borehole permits. But there's a second one which is called the charges for usage for obstruction. And this applies to boreholes, wells, rivers, lakes, or any water bodies. In these regulations, Mr. Chair, some of the charges went up to 20 times. For example, where before the cost was 5 cents per cubic meter, the regulations changed that to 10 shillings. This has had a very serious effect in the irrigation sector, especially farmers around Lake Naivasha and other areas. Personally, Mr. Chair, I want to challenge you to look at the kind of bills that the water authorities are now giving people who own boreholes, private boreholes. Previously, the payment per cubic meter for obstruction costs was 2 shillings. It has now gone up another 20 times on average. And so, in summary, I'm seeking to ask the House to revert to the old rates so that those of us who give water to residents or who give water to neighbors don't have to bear this cost. Mr. Chair, in summary, that is my proposal. And I think you have the proposed amendments before you. And I'm pleading that you see my point and quash those provisions of the regulations 2022, water regulations 2021 that were effected in 2022 to be deemed annulled. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, the Honorable Manduku. So your proposal is seeking to do away with all the legal fees which are charged when you are, or the permits, when you are constructing a borehole, a well, or a water which are abstracted or extracted from a borehole, lake, or a river. You're seeking to remove everything.
Chair, and worst case, I'm seeking that we revert to the pre-2021 levies.
Okay. So, in that case, again, I want to give it to Lynette. Also, for your information, at the Honorable Mandugu, the advice from the Attorney General Office, and also, Lynette, you can take us also from the Kenya Law Reform. Yes, Commission.
Thank you, Chair and honorable members. So we received two memoranda from the AG and the Kenya Law Reform Commission. As regards to the memoranda from the AG, they stated that the proposal do not raise any significant constitutional or statutory issues. However, because the policy lies with the ministry, they forwarded the same for further guidance on the policy considerations, and then subsequently they'll be able to give further guidance on the same. With regards to Kenya Law Reform Commission, they were not in agreement with the proposed amendment. Basically, they stated that the issuance of permits at a fee is one of the means that the authority, that is the irrigation authority, uses to control the exploitation of water resources or even their depletion. This amendment can negatively impact groundwater recharge for wells.
Just, Chair, I just implore upon the legal counsel to use the microphone so that we can be able, we are not able to get what she's.
Close to the mic.
Okay, sorry. With regards to the Kenya Law Reform Commission, they were not in agreement with the proposed amendment, and they basically stated that the issuance of permits at a fee is one of the means that the authority uses to control the exploitation of water resources or even their depletion. Further, the amendment can negatively impact groundwater recharge for wells and boreholes, depletion of water resources in seasonal rivers and dams. It may also affect the quality and sustainability of water resources. Moreover, intensive and uncontrolled use of these resources impacts quality and quantity of surface and groundwater and may lead to soil erosion, pollution, loss of habitats and biodiversity, and the suitability of available land for cropping and alternative uses. Further, Section 130 of the Water Act provides that the authority, the regulatory board, and the Water Storage Authority may, subject to the Public Finance Management Act, retain in a fund managed by the respective bodies the revenue from permit charges, water user fees, regulatory licenses, fees, and any other authorized charges, and shall use such revenue in meeting the costs incurred in the performance of their functions. The removal of this loss may lead to loss of revenue from the charges, permits, and licenses, and will greatly dent the revenue pool of the authority in the performance of its function. Further, Section 132 of the Act, the Water Act, further provides that all income through water permits, abstraction, and water user fees shall be entirely used for the conservation and management of water resources. Unilateral removal of these fees will greatly impact the conservation efforts of water resources. That is all, Chair.
Yes, you've seen it, the Honorable Mandugu.
Yes, Chair.
Yes, so there's, for the Attorney General, they are saying they don't have an issue, but again, they need a concurrence from the ministry, which I think probably today or tomorrow, on Thursday, yes, on Thursday, we will have the PS or the report from the ministry on your proposal. So once we have that one again, we do the comparative analysis between what the Attorney General have submitted before us, the Kenya Law Reform Commission, and also what the ministry they have given. But the law reform, they are saying that, removing charges on the this, or removing fees on digging of boreholes and extraction of water, it's like now you are leaving it free for all. Anyone can go just anywhere and dig a borehole or extract water without any regulations, which should not be the case. And then number two, it is already prescribed in the regulations and the laws, the water laws, that the money which are collected or the fees collected is used for the environment conservation and conservation of the water towers. So without this money, in a way, again, we will be failing in the environmental conservation and especially on the water towers. So what do you think?
Chair,
Okay.
Chair, thank you for the opportunity. I think I want to thank Mheshimiwa for bringing up this matter. I think we need to understand his thinking and not just follow what maybe the law reform is recommending. Because I think Mheshimiwa is asking about the doubling or tripling or the huge fees that is paid for after the new regulation have come into play. Previously, money has been paid, but it has not been paid to the extent that is now supposed to be paid. So we are not saying, I don't think he's saying that we scrap all the fees. He's just saying we revert back to the old, system where we were paying little money, because now it has made water to become very expensive. One, it's not like we must pay to get to regulate the drilling of bores or construction of well. We can still even pay zero money, but still regulate where the bores are being drilled, because you must make an application. The application has to be approved. Who says that you must pay for that application? No, so we are mixing up the two things. We must separate the money part from the regulation part of it. So I think I want to support Mheshimiwa.
Thank you, Chair. Let me give you a little background.
Let me have
why,
Honorable Manduku and then
on my personal experience. Let me declare my interest first. I have about 10 boreholes in various parts of the country, including places like Emali, Mailua, Kajiado, where I do some farming. Some of these boreholes give me a yield of between 8 to 11 cubic meters, which is more than I require for my ordinary use. So I have given the neighbors water to feed their cattle and their goats, and even for their domestic use. Ordinarily, I would get tariffs of about 20,000 per year. About 4 months ago, I started getting tariffs of 400,000, 350, 360 per borehole. It's not my business to give the local community water. When you were young, at the age of 10, we used to be told that we'll have water in every village by the year 2000. The government is supposed to provide water. Granted, we know that this is a devolved function, but there doesn't seem to be deliberate effort to provide water to the residents. And so, can you explain to me why I should be paying 400,000 shillings per borehole per year to give my neighbors free water? I can pay 20,000, 30,000. And when I've got 11 boreholes, Chair, I'm talking of 5 million. I'm in partnership with somebody else who's doing farming in Lake Naivasha. Our monthly water bill was about 400,000 shillings. In the last 6 months, we are paying an average of 8 to 10 million per month. And yet, we are doing agriculture. That is the basis, that is the background, and I declared my interest. But then, if you read the petition before the Senate last year, unfortunately, I think the House adjourned for the elections before this was deliberately exhausted. The players in the water sector, especially the farmers, raised very serious concerns on the implication of arbitrarily not just doubling, not quadrupling, making the tariff 20 times. And that is the issue. And Chair, having declared my interest, I think it is something that I think this committee should look at favorably, because it is really hurting us. I'm now forced to regulate the usage of water, which is not supposed to be done in those arid areas where we do farming. So, Mr. Chair, I think I'm persuading the committee to look at this issue and persuade the Water Ministry to see this point. That is not about collecting money, nor is it about Nor is it about commercial interests. And Chair, let me tell you, even if you sold water, because of the high maintenance costs of pumps, and if the water has got some kind of acidity or chemicals, the purification, it is such an expensive process that you end up doing work that the government ought to do. That's a ministry that is talking so loudly about conserving water towers. Should have done this a generation ago. And now we find ourselves doing it, and yet we are bearing the cost. And that is the basis of my argument, Mr. Chair. I submit. Thank you.
The Honorable Gachagua.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, Honorable Manduko, for this observation. Actually, my concern, as I've understood it from the Honorable Member, the problem is not the charges during for permit to obstruct, but the subsequent obstruction money that has been added from maybe 2 shillings. He has talked of 20 times. Actually, it doesn't augur well, and especially when we are encouraging agriculture and irrigated agriculture, because it has been observed that rain-depending agriculture is no longer tenable. So I think he has a right when he is concerned about the subsequent obstruction per cubic meter. And I think even the case before the courts on the Warma about the 5 cents to 5 shillings, it is just the same. And I think it's high time as a committee we encouraged farmers to use that irrigation water from boreholes by not bringing these subsequent obstruction fees. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Daktari, for bringing this petition before this committee. I think I've understood Daktari quite well after explaining the background of why he has come before this committee. And Chair, I think this country has struggled so much with a commodity which is talked to like it's a natural resource that should be made available to each and every person. Chair, we know too well that households are struggling in this country to get water, not for irrigation, not even for anything else, but even for drinking, domestic use. And Chair, the concern of Daktari is very pertinent because what he's saying is the water regulations 2021, which were effected in the year 2022, changed the whole terrain of how water was being charged from 2 shillings, 20 times more all of a sudden. It becomes a happy task, a commodity which is very rare and barely available to the local communities. And Chair, when maybe you are a good Samaritan and you say you have boreholes like Daktari has everywhere, and you want to give even the local community water to drink, not to irrigate, to drink and for their animals, then you bear the burden of giving them free water but paying for them 20 times more. Chair, I think we should reconsider and look at these levies. We may not revert completely back to the 2 shillings because there are other intricacies around it, but we can work around there and ensure that still the government and those who are able to drill boreholes can be able to help the local communities get clean drinking water, because this is one of the goals among the sustainable goals that we want to achieve. And he is saying we had promised the country that by the year 2000, there will be clean drinking water in every household. Chair, we are not yet there. If we start now drilling these gains back again, Chair, we will lose it. So I want to say, let us very rationally look at this petition and see how we can be able to balance so that we gain in both ways. Thank you, Chair.
Ndugu, if you have your legislative proposal, because I just want to read for you the memorandum of objects and the reason for your proposal. Because what we are discussing is completely different from your proposal. And it reads, the principal object of the bill is to amend the Water Act, that is Cap 372, in order to promote the right to clean, safe water in adequate quantities, as provided under the Article 43, subsection 1D of the Constitution. The bill provides that an application for a permit to construct a borehole and a well, and water abstracted or extracted from a borehole, a well, a river, lake, or any other water body for usage shall not attract any charges, fees, or levies. It is not, you are saying any water abstraction or extraction, whether in form of a borehole or a well or a river or a lake, shall not attract any charges or fees. This shall promote the construction of more boreholes and wells and improve on water supply in the country. So your bill basically is, you are saying there should be no levies, there should be no charges, there shouldn't be no fees. It's not about reducing to the original regulation. It's not talking about the increased charges. You're saying it should not attract anything.
Chair, that is a...
Let me give it to Mudama and then back to you.
Daktari, you know, as a committee, and you are one of us, we go by the bill. And following what the chair is telling you, and when I came in, what I found you explaining, and towards the end you said, is like you are saying, okay, let there be some charges. The older one in the previous, the previous bill, the previous regulation. So you either tell us you want to go back to the House and correct this, so that we address issues that pertains to additional charges on the borehole, on the lake or whatever, extraction, whatever, or you are sticking to this, which with the word shall, so that we deal with it now as shall not attract any charges, or you would go back to the House and probably come up with the right. But we can't handle these two together, because already, as one of the members have told you, there is already this issue, and even the PS and the chair has arranged for us even to listen to the minister and maybe even Walma. But kindly come out clear. Are we addressing this shall not, or you want to revisit and do another bill so that we can handle the issue to do with the charges? Thank you, Chair.
Clarity. I think I'm getting it now. I don't know, Honorable Member, was the bill supposed to tackle the permit for the construction or for the subsequent abstraction? Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, supposed to tackle the two charges. Abstraction. First, the application for permit, and then abstraction and extraction. Those two are elements. But Chair, I want to agree with Honorable Mudama that I may be forced to go back to the House and probably seek, for being reasonable, to go back to the pre-2022 tariffs, so that then it's a win-win for everyone. I think that will make a lot of sense. Thank you.
I think that's okay. If you can amend your proposal to go back to the 2020, the 2022, 2021-22 regulations, then now it will be good. It will be good for you, for the and the entire water sector. Yes, but when you say shall not attract any, So this will be a loophole for misuse. That anyone can go to Urubak now and just dig a borehole there, because there is no regulations, there is no fees, there is nothing.
Thank you, Chair. I stand guided. But even if that were to be it, the process of obtaining a permit for drilling a borehole is quite rigorous, and fees actually comes at the tail end. In fact, the borehole permit fee is not high normally. It's something that can be easily be sustained. The challenge always is the abstraction fees, and it's Chair, it's quite high when you look at the fact that it has been made 20 times what it was, and that is what I'll seek to go back to. I stand guided, Chair. Thank you.
If you amend also to include that one, then it will make a very good proposal. Otherwise, thank you, the Honorable Manduku, for coming and to give us an overview of your bill. So, as a committee, we'll support you. We'll support you because we are here to also make sure that we make a good laws for our country and also for the entire users of water and also our people. So I want to thank you, and once again, you are done with that proposal.
Can I just add something?
Yes, Honorable.
Is my friend, and because you are on it, can you also consider to raise issue to do with the blue gum, which are planted around the? Look at it.
For the towers.
Yeah, so that it may, if you package it well, it will maybe add that one also. It has been in the house, and I don't know, somewhere around the way, there is always some objections or some obstacles, because the Chair, you can put it clear. You are the one who understands about trees more than I do.
Anyway, you can look at it around because I think it is regulation also with is it Warma or Wasrep? They have banned those blue gum eucalyptus trees from being planted along the water towers because they are heavy consumers of water. So you will find that in a small river or a well, initially, those years where you see many or a lot of water flowing from there, where they are planted eucalyptus, is no longer there. And it's even common if you are in Kisii area. Yeah, so that now it is banned that we don't need to plant those eucalyptus in our water towers. Otherwise, we thank you and wish you well.